need to work. He's got great ambition in his body and in his brain and in his heart. Oh, let it snow, let it snow. Hey, look at this. It's Christmas time in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm here at the Crown Plaza display. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Gareth A Davies, what an introduction that was. Welcome to Riyadh. I know you flew in late last night.
Your favourite town?
I like it. I do like it. I love it. Good people, good vibes.
Yeah.
Talk to me about yourself. How's things? How's life?
Really good. Great to be here back in Saudi Arabia for this massive card. 10 of the top 15 heavyweights in the world on this card. If you look through all the sanctioning, the four main sanctioning bodies. I'm very well. It's been a busy old period. Shame about Sonny Edwards against Bam Rodriguez. Got drawn into a dogfight. Great performance by Bam Rodriguez. I haven't seen you since Devin Haney and Regis Prograis. I think we're starting to see. While I put my phone on the snow display there for a moment, don't let me forget it, whatever you do. Devin Haney, Regis Prograis, I think we started to see greatness from Devin Haney, beginning of his greatness perhaps. We're out here in Saudi for what is, I think it's the last big card of the year. Yeah.
Inoue fighting.
Oh, we've got Inoue fighting on Boxing Day, of course. Again, what an end to the year. And I'm in the Crown Plaza Hotel here. We've got Joseph Parker. Swing the camera around. Joseph Parker and his team over there. Yeah, look at him. Handsome, rugged, well-shaven. And that's the guy standing next to him. But Joseph's there. He's watching videos at the moment. Joseph's here. What a great fight he's got against Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, the only two that are not staying here, by the way. We've got all the teams all having lunch. Arslan Makhmoudov's having lunch over there. Spoke to Junior Farr earlier. Jarrell Miller was here chatting to us a minute ago. He's just gone for lunch. Flip the camera. Do the camera again. Over at the carpet, the carpet store in the windows. Oh yeah, true. No, she's gone now. You can film Flip. Flip Hergovich is over there looking at rugs. Everyone's here. It's got a real big fight feel about it. And, you know, there's Christmas. Obviously, in Saudi Arabia, they don't celebrate Christmas because it's a Muslim country. But it's a big Christmas bonus for all of us to be here and involved in what is huge development in the heavyweight division.
Let's talk about Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua and their fights. There's a sort of date that's set, it seems, for March the 9th if both fighters win. But I want to ask you, is there a potential banana skin for both fighters in Parker and Otto Wallin?
As I said, look at Joseph Parker, look at the shape he's in. He knows what he has to do against Deontay Wilder. He knows that he's got to be on point for every minute of every round against Wilder to get himself the victory. Wilder's only fought once in 26 months, one round knockout of Robert Helenius, since the fight with that trilogy fight with Tyson Fury. We don't know what that took out of him. I still see Wilder as a favourite in that fight because I think at some point he lands and he's very dangerous when he lands. But Joseph Parker looks fresh and that's fantastic to see. Fascinating to see if that's the main event of the evening or the last fight.
They've actually said Anthony Joshua's going to be the main event.
Against Wallin. There's more jeopardy in that fight, maybe. So Anthony Joshua's walking last on the night. Him and Otto Wallin. Wallin said all the right things in the build-up that he needs to, which is fantastic as well. I think Joshua's got to come out and impose himself. We always say this about him, come out and impose himself. I'm glad he's under Ben Davison, so 2 fights really, really looking forward to. As well as the other, 7 other heavyweight fights on the card, and a cruiserweight fight with Jaya Pattaya, who I've seen this morning, against Elias Soro, great fight. Chance for Lyndon Arthur to make a name for himself against Dimitri Bivol. So, no, it's an amazing card. It's, you know, I think Eddie Hearn said it, I think Frank Warren said it. It's the strongest card they've ever been involved with.
I'm not sure if you've had time to look at yesterday's Grand Arrivals and look at the demeanour, and unfortunately for AJ, in the position that he's in, a lot of people seem to pick at everything that he does. We've looked at his style, his mentality, and everything. And now the latest thing is his demeanour yesterday. He looked focused. He didn't answer much to the media, which I get fully. But I'm not sure if you've seen it. If you have, what did you make of Deontay Wilder's and AJ's demeanour yesterday?
Well, I think it's the same as what we saw at the Day of Reckoning press conference. Deontay Wilder loves the attention and the stage and feels like he's on his way to being champion again and is loving his life. I did a big interview with him about going on an ayahuasca retreat, taking psychedelics and how it's changed his life. I think that's phenomenal, fascinating. And I think Anthony Joshua's very focused on getting the job done here. It's such an important fight for him. Yeah, he could be looking at potentially another £100 million in earnings if he looks fantastic on Saturday night. He could have a Wilder fight, a Usyk fight again, or if Usyk beats Fury, or a Fury fight, a Flip Hrgovic fight. His next 3 fights could be worth close to 100 million. So there's that pressure on him. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's got a new trainer again under Ben Davison, so that'll be fascinating to see. There's a lot of things. He's under a new promotional banner, if you like, because he's on a Queensberry card, even though he's still promoted by Eddie Hearn. A lot of pressure on him. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing Anthony today at the workouts.
What do you make of this talk leading up to this fight? And he also spoke to it to Laura Woods in the TNT interview, where he spoke about people saying he's mentally weak. I think Deontay Wilder said that. I think Otto Wallin might have mentioned that. He said to me in the interview that he's not said it. Otto Wallin said, I've not said it. But what do you make of that narrative coming along?
Well, I've got an interview here with Wallin. Wallin says that he sees him as scared because they wanted a rematch clause. He thinks he's a different fighter to the guy that they fought together twice in the amateurs, to the guy he fought twice in the amateurs and lost to. Joshua won both of those. That he used to be a seek and destroy guy. Now he's trying to be, or is more technical. And he fights not to lose rather than to win. And that's what he goes out to. Those are all observations that boxing's a sport of opinions. I think everybody wants to see Anthony Joshua do well. I certainly do. I think he's been amazing for the sport for the last 12, 13 years that I've known him. He's fantastic to work with. He's had 3 upsets in his career. Andy Ruiz on a night when he just got caught, and 2 nights against Usyk when he wasn't there in the first fight, but I thought he did fantastically well and better in the second fight, and didn't quite have enough and got fiddled out of it in the last 3 rounds by a very experienced boxer and a tricky southpaw in Usyk. Let's see what he does against Fury. But Joshua is of that mindset where he likes to see what people are saying about him, and I don't think anyone's got an agenda against him. Everyone has opinions about everything in this sport. Joshua is fantastic for the sport. He's a star. Sometimes you wonder about his mindset, yes, because his style has changed. He's scarred, I believe. We're all scarred in life from things that happen to us, and it has an effect on us. When we're young and we're reckless and we don't know any fear of something, reprisals of things. That's where he was once in his career. There's a little bit of grey there that I want to pull out. I think the fact that Joshua cares is what makes him go on. He doesn't need to work. He's got great ambition in his body and in his brain and in his heart. So, you know, it is what it is. He thinks people are critical of him. I think he uses that as ammunition to get himself fired up for fights. Because he's only proving it to himself at the end of the day. He doesn't need to do this. So good luck to him, I say. Let's treasure him while he's still here. Let's treasure Anthony Joshua.
I agree with that. I think he does use it as ammunition. And I felt that yesterday. I felt like he was using any sort of backlash as ammunition yesterday on the Grand Rivals. And he looked serious, and let's see what happens on Saturday.
I hope he reads my Otto Wallin page in the paper and listens to the interviews I did with Otto Wallin on TalkSport, because Otto Wallin's talking a really good game. They needed a rematch clause. He fights differently. He fights not to lose rather than to win. We're different fighters now. I've got nothing to lose. Just soak it all up, take it all in, and go out there and deliver. Listen, I think it's a tricky fight. It's a tricky fight for Anthony Joshua. But if he imposes himself early in this contest, I think he gets the job done.
Quick two from myself. Jarrell Miller, Daniel Dubois, great fight. We just talked to Jarrell off camera. He's in a good mood. Daniel Dubois spoke to day before, said, listen, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for this. They're both ready. Talk to me about that fight.
Jarrell Miller is a very dangerous opponent for Daniel Dubois. I've known Jarrell a very long time. I covered his fights in Glory Kickboxing all those years ago when he fought Mirko Krokop. Right foot hospital, left foot cemetery, as they used to say about Mirko Krokop. Fantastic fight in Glory that night at the Forum in Los Angeles. Jarrell Miller's a very dangerous opponent if Daniel Dubois doesn't hurt him and get him out of there, in my view. 5 rounds onwards, it gets dangerous for Daniel Dubois. Daniel looks confident as well, but this is a big test for him. He's one of Frank Warren's principal fighters on this card as well. So, big night for him, because obviously the nights that he struggled against Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk, people bring to the fore and focus on. But I think the hardest fight of the night in these matchups is going to be, well, maybe Makhmudov and Kabayel is a good fight as well. Yes. But I think that's the biggest 50-50 of the night, that one. And I'm shading towards Jarrell Miller. I've just seen Jarrell myself. He's always relaxed. He's a much better fighter than people give him credit for. And I'm glad he's back. Obviously, he served his time. You know, he made mistakes and he knows it. He's made a lot of waves here as well. And I can see him fighting Joshua at some point in the next couple of years after all their tete-a-tetes here in the hotel already.
Let's final one for myself. John Fury's done a few interviews and there's been this talk about Tyson Fury being on the decline. And there's an interview that John did, and he just clarified it with the interview second. I was saying, listen, I never said my son was on the decline. I said the training camp was on the decline. And he called the training camp a circus. He said Usyk's got disciplined people around him. He wouldn't have that issue. What do you make of John sort of speaking out about what's going on in camp?
John always does that when Tyson's got a fight coming up. He's always concerned about Tyson's performances, who's around him. I like it. I like it when John goes AWOL, if you like, a little bit and says, did you say it was a circus? Yeah, no, it's just John showing his fatherly concern, being a voice in the corner, making sure his son's on point. Tyson listens to his dad, I think, in these kind of respects, really does. So it's just him giving it the little shake-up. If you recall, he didn't want Tyson to fight after the last Wilder fight, nor did many members of his family, but no, it's just John being concerned for Tyson, wanting him to do his best, and wanting legacy for the Fury family.
Cool. Gareth A Davies, always a pleasure. Are you going to leave us on a song?
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.